What's happened to me? How about if I sleep a little bit longer and forget all this nonsense?
Gregor, it's 6:45. Don't you need to go somewhere?
Gregor was shocked when he heard his own voice answering. It could hardly be recognized as the voice he had before.
Yes, Mother. Yes, thank you. I'm getting up now.
But this short conversation made the other members of the family aware that Gregor, against their expectations, was still at home, and soon his father came knocking at one of the side doors.
Gregor, are you feeling well? Do you need anything?
Gregor, what's wrong? Gregor, open the door. I beg of you.
Good thing I locked the doors.
Hello, is Mr. Sampson home?
Gregor only needed to hear the visitor's first words of greeting, and he knew who it was. The chief clerk himself.
He isn't well. Please believe me. Why else would Gregor have missed the train? The lad only ever thinks about the business.
Mr. Sampson, what is wrong? You are causing serious and unnecessary concerns to your parents, and you failed to carry out your business duties in a way that's quite unheard of. Your actions will have major repercussions.
Please don't make my parents suffer. There's no basis for any of these accusations you're making. You don't need to wait, sir. I'll be in the office soon.
Did you understand a word of all that? Surely he's trying to make a fool of us.
Help! For pity's sake, help!
No, please, wait.
But his pleas were to no avail. His father gave him a hefty shove and sent him heavily bleeding into his room. The door was slammed shut. Then, finally, all was quiet.
Here, Gregor. I know you must be hungry, so I have some food for you. I brought you your favorite, milk.
Instead of drinking his beloved milk, Gregor was immediately attracted to the cheese on the newspaper.
Why is this happening? Am I less sensitive than I used to be? Somehow, I am disgusted by milk. But the cheese is great. Nothing bad is happening. I am still the normal me as I once was. My mother and sister are simply moving some furniture for me.
The scraping of the furniture and the little calls his mother and sister made hurt Gregor. It felt as though he was being bombarded on all sides. Over time, however, Gregor began to ignore and forget they were there. Soon, the room was nearly empty. Only the picture of the woman in furs remained. It was the only tie to humanity he had left.
Oh God! Oh God! You, Gregor, look what you've done!
Gregor's father had arrived home.
What's happened?
Mother fainted, but she's better now. Gregor got out.
Just as I expected. I always said, but you women wouldn't listen, would you?
Gregor wanted to drag himself away, as if he could remove the surprising, incredible pain by changing his position, but he felt as though he were nailed to the spot, all his senses in confusion. The last thing he saw was the door of his room being pulled open, his sister was screaming, her arms around her father, begging him to spare Gregor's life. In the flat had been rented out to 3 gentlemen. These earnest gentlemen, all 3 of them had full beards, as Gregor learned peering through the crack in the door one day, were painfully insistent on things being tidy. During dinner, the gentleman in the middle, who seemed to count as an authority for the other 2, did indeed cut off a piece of meat while it was still in its dish, clearly wishing to establish whether it was sufficiently cooked or whether it should be sent back to the kitchen.
Is the playing perhaps unpleasant, the gentleman? We can stop it straight away.
On the contrary, would the young lady not like to come in and play for us, here in the room, where it is, after all, much more cozy and comfortable?
No, I want Greet to play for me.
Was he an animal if music could captivate him so? It seemed to him that he was being shown the way to the unknown nourishment he had been yearning for. Mr. Samsa! The violin went silent, and Gregor's father rushed up to drive the boarders back into their room, but they started to get angry. I declare that with regard to the repugnant conditions that prevail in this flat and with this family, I will pay nothing at all for all the days that I have been living here.
We also give immediate notice.
We have to try and get rid of it.
If he could just understand us, then perhaps we could come to some kind of arrangement. But as it is...
We have to try and get rid of it. You've got to get rid of the idea that that's Gregor. If it were Gregor, he would have seen long ago that it's impossible for human beings to live with an animal like that, and he would have gone on his own free will.
I must leave. Must go away. I know when I'm unwanted. I'm simply a burden and a waste of space. Greet is right. Maybe I should just disappear.
He remained in this state of empty and peaceful rumination, until he heard the clock tower strike 3 in the morning. He watched as it slowly began to get light everywhere outside the window, too. Then, without his willing it, his head sank down completely, and his last breath flowed weakly from his nostrils. After that, the three of them left the flat together, which was something they had not done for months, and took the tram out to the open country outside the town.
Well, this is nice. So, about the future.
At the ride, the family seemed happy and somehow reborn with a new sense of freedom, and, as if in confirmation of their new dreams and good intentions, as soon as they reached their destination,
Ah, this sun feels nice.